Infidelity is an experience that can shake the very foundation of a relationship, and for many women, it feels like an unimaginable betrayal. The emotional impact begins the moment the truth is revealed, leaving women to grapple with the overwhelming realization that the person they trusted most has broken that bond. Trust is a fragile but essential component of any healthy relationship, and when it is betrayed, it can feel as though the emotional scaffolding that supported the entire relationship has crumbled. For many women, the feeling of betrayal is not just about the physical act of infidelity, but about the deep emotional connection they believe they shared with their partner. It's a violation that cuts deep into the heart, leading to a cascade of difficult emotions. When a woman discovers her partner's unfaithfulness, it often feels like a rug has been pulled out from under her. Her sense of reality is jolted, and everything she believed to be true about her relationship is called into question. This feeling of being deceived can provoke an intense emotional reaction: shock, anger, sadness, and disbelief. She may replay every moment, searching for signs she missed, wondering how she could have been so blind. This overwhelming wave of emotions may make it hard for her to even process the situation, let alone respond appropriately. At first, it's not uncommon to feel like the ground has shifted beneath her feet and nothing feels solid anymore. Beyond the immediate emotional turmoil, there's the deep sense of confusion that follows. Women often wonder why this happened. Was it something they did or didn't do? Was there something lacking in the relationship? The sense of self-doubt can creep in, questioning one's worth, beauty, or ability to hold a partner's affection. They might think that if they had been different, perhaps more attentive or more loving, the betrayal wouldn't have occurred. These questions often swirl endlessly in the mind, further complicating the process of dealing with the betrayal. In moments of intense emotional pain, it's easy to spiral into a mindset where the infidelity feels like a personal failing. Moreover, the shock of betrayal isn't limited to just the woman and her partner. It can extend to other relationships, especially if the woman has confided in friends or family about the relationship. Suddenly, their support system becomes a source of added pressure. She may find herself facing sympathy, advice, or even judgment from loved ones who, despite their best intentions, can sometimes make her feel more alienated. This sense of emotional isolation intensifies the betrayal, as it feels like everyone, including the person closest to her, is either complicit or looking at her through a lens of pity or concern. Infidelity also has the power to shift the dynamics of how a woman views the world. In many cases, women have a strong belief in the sanctity of their relationships, assuming that love and trust are the foundations upon which everything else is built. When this belief is shattered, it can make them question the integrity of others too. If the person they trusted most could betray them, what does that say about the trustworthiness of other people in their lives? It's an emotional blow that ripples outward, affecting not just the romantic relationship, but their overall worldview. In the wake of infidelity, the process of rebuilding trust can feel impossible. Trust, once broken, can take a long time to repair, and sometimes it may never be fully restored. Even when the partner expresses remorse or promises to change, the emotional scars remain. Trust doesn't just mean believing in someone's words, it means believing in their actions and intentions. And when those actions have contradicted the trust, it's hard to move forward without constantly questioning the motives behind every word and gesture. This makes the journey of healing far more complicated, as the woman may constantly battle between wanting to forgive and not being able to forget the hurt that was caused. The pain of betrayal is not something that can be easily erased, and for many women it leaves a lasting emotional imprint. The wound doesn't heal overnight, and the process of healing requires time, support, and a lot of self-reflection. Understanding the emotional impact of infidelity is essential, as it sheds light on the complexity of this experience and the immense strength women must summon in order to move forward, whether within the relationship or beyond it. The emotional consequences of infidelity on women extend far beyond the initial shock of betrayal, often manifesting in significant psychological effects that can last for months or even years. Among the most common and profound of these are feelings of anxiety, depression, and a sudden drop in self-esteem. When trust is broken, it doesn't just affect the relationship, it undermines the woman's sense of security, stability, and her belief in the future. The psychological weight of infidelity can be incredibly heavy, with the emotional wounds often causing feelings that extend well into the healing process. Anxiety is one of the most immediate emotional reactions to infidelity. Women who experience betrayal often struggle with overwhelming worry and fear about the future. The foundation of their relationship has been shaken, and they may find themselves obsessing over the details of what happened, the constant replaying of events in their mind. Asking how could this happen or what did I miss can lead to intrusive thoughts that make it difficult to focus on anything else. Even after the discovery, the anxiety doesn't always subside. Every moment in the relationship becomes clouded by doubt, with women second-guessing every word, every interaction, and every decision. This heightened state of anxiety can affect daily life, leading to issues with sleep, concentration, and even physical symptoms like headaches or stomach problems, all stemming from the mental turmoil. Alongside anxiety, depression is another common emotional outcome. When trust is betrayed, it can trigger profound feelings of sadness and hopelessness. Women may experience a deep sense of loss, not just of the relationship, but of their sense of self and the future they had envisioned with their partner. Depression can creep in as a result of this emotional devastation, leading to a sense of numbness, helplessness, or even despair. The emotional devastation that comes with infidelity is so powerful that many women can feel like their world is crumbling around them, and nothing seems capable of lifting them from that darkness. It's easy to feel alone in these moments, as the intensity of these emotions can be isolating. Even the people closest to her may not fully understand the depth of the pain she's experiencing, further compounding the feelings of loneliness and despair. This emotional turmoil is further exacerbated by the toll infidelity can take on a woman's self-esteem. When a partner is unfaithful, it can feel like a personal rejection. Women often internalize the betrayal, wondering if they weren't good enough or if they failed in some way to meet their partner's needs. This self-blame can lead to a profound sense of inadequacy and diminished self-worth. Women may begin to question their attractiveness, their emotional value, and even their ability to maintain a loving relationship. The feelings of rejection and insecurity often persist long after the affair has ended, lingering in the background and affecting her self-perception and interactions with others. The impact on self-esteem can extend to other areas of life, making it harder to feel confident in professional environments, social situations, and even within new relationships if they choose to pursue them. Moreover, the psychological impact of infidelity doesn't just affect how a woman feels in the present. It can change how she sees relationships moving forward. If the emotional scars of betrayal are not adequately addressed, they can shape her future interactions and create a lingering fear of being hurt again. The fear of vulnerability can prevent her from fully opening up to others, leading to issues with trust that extend well beyond the original relationship. In some cases, women may become hyper-aware of potential red flags in new relationships, making it difficult to form healthy, trusting connections. This ongoing emotional battle can create a vicious cycle where the pain of infidelity continues to interfere with future emotional growth. As the depression and anxiety persist, women may also experience a sense of disconnection from the person they once were. Infidelity can rob them of the joy, confidence, and passion they once felt in the relationship and in life itself. The emotional scars, though invisible, are deep and real, often causing a sense of numbness or emotional exhaustion. Rebuilding self-esteem and emotional well-being requires patience and self-compassion, but for many women, it feels like an uphill battle. The emotional repercussions of infidelity can leave a lasting mark on a woman's mental health, as the anxiety, depression, and diminished self-worth take root and complicate the healing process. This experience challenges not only how she views the relationship, but also how she views herself and her place in the world. Recovery is a long and often painful journey, but with time and support, it is possible for many women to regain their sense of self and rediscover their inner strength. The emotional impact of infidelity on women is not limited to the betrayal itself or the immediate psychological effects. It also deeply affects their sense of connection to others, especially the profound feelings of rejection and loneliness that often arise in its wake. When a partner cheats, the woman often feels emotionally abandoned, even if the betrayal doesn't involve physical separation. The emotional disconnection caused by infidelity can make the woman feel as though she's been left behind even though her partner may still be physically present. This sense of rejection can be devastating, especially if the woman was emotionally invested in the relationship and believed in the love and loyalty they shared. The feeling of being rejected by the person who was supposed to be her most trusted ally can be all-consuming. Infidelity can create an emotional chasm between the couple, as the unfaithful partner often becomes distant or withdrawn, either due to guilt or a shift in priorities. This emotional distance only amplifies the sense of abandonment, as the woman feels like she's no longer seen or valued by the person she once considered her partner, in every sense of the word. Even if the infidelity is addressed, the emotional intimacy that was once a core component of the relationship can feel irreparably broken. The emotional space left by the betrayal may feel so vast that it becomes hard to believe that true emotional connection can ever be restored. This sense of abandonment is further complicated by the fact that infidelity often makes women question their worth. They may feel as though they are not enough, that their partner's infidelity is somehow a reflection of their own shortcomings. The partner's actions may lead to an internal narrative of not being lovable or desirable enough to keep their partner's loyalty. This kind of thinking fosters deep feelings of rejection, causing the woman to struggle with self-acceptance and self-worth. The emotional scars left by the betrayal can sometimes persist even if the relationship continues, as the woman finds herself constantly questioning her value and whether she can ever fully trust her partner again. Alongside these feelings of rejection, the loneliness that follows infidelity can be equally devastating. Women may find themselves feeling isolated, even when surrounded by people who care about them. The pain of betrayal creates a gap between the woman and her social circle, as she might not want to share the details of her suffering with others. This reluctance stems from the fear of being judged or misunderstood. Friends and family may offer support, but sometimes their advice or sympathy may only add to the woman's sense of alienation. She might feel like she's the only one truly experiencing the emotional fallout of the infidelity, which amplifies her feelings of loneliness. This emotional isolation can lead to withdrawal from social activities and over time may even diminish her support system, further compounding the pain of betrayal. Additionally, the woman may feel that the betrayal has created a barrier between her and her partner that is impossible to overcome. The trust that once existed has been damaged so deeply that it's difficult for the woman to imagine how she could ever feel emotionally connected to her partner again. This emotional barrier can make even basic interactions feel strained, as the woman is left wondering if her partner truly understands the gravity of the hurt caused. The lack of emotional intimacy, combined with the constant suspicion or lingering pain of betrayal, creates an environment where true connection feels out of reach. The woman may start to doubt whether her partner will ever be able to provide the emotional support she needs, leading to a deeper sense of isolation within the relationship. The emotional loneliness caused by infidelity is not just about being alone physically, but about feeling unseen, unheard, and unloved. It's the loneliness that comes from a broken connection with the person who was once her closest companion. It's the feeling of being adrift in a relationship that no longer feels like home. Over time, this emotional isolation can take its toll on a woman's mental health, contributing to anxiety and depression. The weight of betrayal, compounded by a sense of rejection and loneliness, creates a profound emotional burden that can affect her outlook on relationships and her ability to trust again in the future. In many cases, women in this situation are left to navigate the emotional fallout largely on their own. While they may receive advice or support from friends and family, they are ultimately the ones who must process the hurt and find a way to move forward. The healing process is long and complicated, and the feelings of rejection and loneliness often persist long after the infidelity has been addressed. But as time passes, with the right support and self-reflection, it's possible to heal. For many women, this journey involves rediscovering their own worth, rebuilding trust, and learning how to connect with others in a healthy, trusting way once again. The experience of overcoming such profound loneliness can ultimately help women grow stronger and more resilient, though the scars of rejection may always remain in some form. When infidelity enters a relationship, the emotional damage often extends far beyond the immediate impact, leaving many women grappling with a loss of self-identity and a sense of confusion about the future. A woman's sense of self is intricately tied to her relationships, and when those relationships experience betrayal, it can feel as though a part of her identity has been torn away. This loss of self is not simply about feeling hurt. It's about the profound uncertainty that follows, forcing women to reevaluate who they are, what they value, and what their future holds. The emotional devastation caused by infidelity can make a woman feel as though her very sense of self is fractured. If she had defined herself in part through her relationship, whether as a wife, partner, or lover, the sudden betrayal can create a void where her identity once stood. Her self-concept may have been rooted in the connection she shared with her partner, and when that bond is broken, she is left questioning who she is without it. The emotional upheaval that follows often leads to a crisis of identity. The woman might ask herself, who am I now? Am I still the person I was before the betrayal? Am I still capable of loving and trusting again? These questions are not just about the immediate relationship, but touch on deeper existential concerns, as the betrayal causes her to examine her sense of purpose and place in the world. Infidelity also forces women to confront their own vulnerabilities. Many women may have believed that their relationship was stable, that they had a shared understanding and commitment with their partner. When that assumption is shattered, they must re-examine not only the relationship, but also their own capacity to trust and navigate their emotional life. There may be feelings of confusion or even shame about the fact that they were unaware of the infidelity. This leads to a sense of self-doubt, as women may feel like they failed to protect themselves or their relationship. The sense of being deceived can trigger a deep internal conflict where a woman questions her judgment and ability to make decisions about relationships or love in the future. The loss of self-identity that results from infidelity also extends to how women view their future. The vision of life that once seemed stable and clear, a future shared with a loving partner, is suddenly thrown into disarray. Women may feel that the future they had been planning for is no longer attainable, as trust, intimacy, and companionship have been severely damaged. This uncertainty can cause anxiety as they struggle to envision what the coming months or years will look like. For some, the thought of continuing in the relationship is daunting, while for others, the fear of starting over and embracing a new life path is equally overwhelming. This confusion about the future isn't just about the relationship, it's also about individual goals and aspirations. The woman who once felt secure in her personal growth and ambitions might find herself uncertain of her own direction. Infidelity introduces an emotional fog that makes it difficult to focus on personal dreams and aspirations, as much of her emotional energy is consumed by the betrayal. This feeling of being adrift in terms of personal identity can lead to a loss of motivation or a sense of paralysis. The ability to move forward, whether within the relationship or outside of it, may seem clouded by the emotional fallout. Moreover, the impact of infidelity can challenge a woman's ability to trust herself and others. Trust is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship, and when that trust is broken, it can feel like a betrayal of not just her partner, but of her own sense of judgment. Women often question whether they can trust their own instincts moving forward, not just in romantic relationships, but also in friendships and even professional settings. The ripple effects of infidelity extend beyond the romantic sphere, leading to a generalized mistrust that impacts many aspects of her life. Despite the deep sense of confusion and loss of identity, this experience can also serve as a point of personal transformation for many women. The process of confronting and healing from infidelity may involve rediscovering one's inner strength and resilience. Over time, as women navigate the emotional complexities of betrayal, they can rebuild their self-identity, gaining a deeper understanding of who they are outside of the context of their relationship. For some, this experience leads to personal growth, a clearer sense of purpose, and a more confident outlook on the future. Yet, in the immediate aftermath, the confusion and loss of self are often overwhelming, leaving women to embark on a challenging journey towards self-discovery and emotional healing. The emotional impact of infidelity on women is not only personal, but often public, as societal stigma and judgment can further compound the pain. When a woman faces betrayal in her relationship, she may also find herself grappling with the opinions and assumptions of others. This external pressure can make an already difficult situation feel even more isolating. As she navigates the complexities of healing, while facing criticism or unwanted sympathy from those around her. The fear of being judged by friends, family, or even strangers can add another layer of emotional strain that is hard to escape. Society has often perpetuated certain expectations about relationships, particularly those involving women. Women are frequently expected to be the emotional caretakers and primary nurturers within relationships, and when betrayal occurs, the response can sometimes be one of blame or judgment. Whether it's explicit or subtle, women dealing with infidelity often face the weight of questioning from others about their worth, their decisions, and their role in the relationship. This scrutiny can lead to feelings of shame and embarrassment, as if they are being blamed for their partner's actions, even though the betrayal was not their fault. The judgment from others can make them feel like they are being forced to prove their worthiness or justify their reactions to the betrayal, leaving them emotionally vulnerable. Moreover, societal expectations about what a woman should endure in a relationship also play a role in this stigma. Many women feel pressured to stay silent or accept the betrayal for the sake of appearances, family reputation, or social harmony. There can be a strong cultural emphasis on forgiveness and reconciliation, but this often overlooks the emotional damage that infidelity causes. In some circles, women are expected to simply move on or get over it, as if the emotional wounds of betrayal can be healed through time alone. This expectation can invalidate the real emotional suffering a woman may be going through, making it harder for her to openly express her pain or seek the support she needs. Additionally, if the woman chooses to stay in the relationship after infidelity, she may face judgment from others who question her decision. Some may assume she is weak for tolerating betrayal or criticize her for not leaving her unfaithful partner. Others may accuse her of putting up with behavior that they would deem unacceptable. On the other hand, if she decides to leave, she may encounter criticism for not fighting for her relationship or for failing to forgive. This judgment creates an emotionally charged environment in which the woman feels caught between her own desires and the expectations imposed by others. The societal stigma surrounding infidelity can also affect how women perceive themselves. They may feel alienated from their social circle, as if their relationship has become the subject of gossip or pity. This sense of being othered can exacerbate the loneliness and isolation that often accompany the emotional fallout of betrayal. Friends and family might not fully understand the complexity of the emotional struggle the woman is enduring, leading to well-meaning but sometimes dismissive comments or advice. This lack of understanding can make it harder for the woman to process her emotions, as she might feel she has to navigate both the personal pain of infidelity and the judgment of others simultaneously. In some cases, the emotional toll of societal stigma can cause women to withdraw from their support systems entirely. The fear of being judged or misunderstood can lead them to isolate themselves, making it even harder to heal. They may feel embarrassed to share their story or admit that they are struggling, especially if they feel others might view them as weak or incapable of handling the situation. This isolation can prevent them from seeking the help they need, prolonging the emotional pain. Ultimately, the societal stigma surrounding infidelity often makes an already painful experience even more challenging. It creates an added layer of emotional weight that can slow the healing process and deepen feelings of shame, guilt, and loneliness. The pressure to meet societal expectations, whether it's staying in the relationship, forgiving the betrayal, or moving on quickly, can make women feel as though their emotions and choices are being scrutinized. To truly heal, it's crucial that women have the space to process their pain without the burden of judgment and are supported in making the choices that are best for their emotional well-being, free from external expectations. The long-term emotional effects of infidelity can profoundly alter a woman's ability to trust again, both within the context of romantic relationships and in broader social interactions. Trust is one of the foundational pillars of any meaningful connection, and once it is shattered, it can take years to rebuild, if it is rebuilt at all. For many women, the betrayal leaves scars that may affect their emotional relationships for the rest of their lives. The process of healing is not just about overcoming the betrayal itself, but also about learning how to navigate the complexities of trust moving forward. In the aftermath of infidelity, women often struggle with an overwhelming sense of doubt. This doubt isn't confined solely to their partner, but extends to a broader sense of vulnerability. If the person they trusted most could betray them, how can they ever trust anyone again? This feeling of betrayal often extends beyond the unfaithful partner, seeping into the woman's relationships with family, friends, and colleagues. Even in situations where no betrayal has occurred, the woman may find herself questioning the intentions and loyalty of those around her. The ability to trust is no longer something that comes easily, and every relationship, whether personal or professional, is viewed through a lens of suspicion. This pervasive sense of mistrust creates emotional distance from others, leaving women feeling isolated and reluctant to form close bonds, even with people who have not given them any reason to doubt. In romantic relationships, the challenge of rebuilding trust can feel insurmountable. For many women, the fear of being hurt again can overshadow their ability to fully commit to a partner. Even when they try to move forward in a new relationship or attempt to repair their existing one, the past betrayal haunts their every interaction. Small behaviors or words from their partner may trigger feelings of insecurity or suspicion, creating an ongoing cycle of anxiety. For some, even the most sincere gestures of remorse from the unfaithful partner may not be enough to quell the doubt. The idea that history could repeat itself looms large, causing constant worry and distress. This makes it difficult to fully embrace love or intimacy, as the woman may constantly be on guard, anticipating betrayal. The emotional walls that women build to protect themselves can prevent them from fully experiencing the joy and connection that relationships are meant to offer. This difficulty in trusting also impacts how women interact with others outside the realm of romance. The betrayal by a significant other can leave women feeling like they must always be cautious, even in friendships or professional relationships. They may second-guess people's motives, wondering if others are being sincere or if they too have hidden agendas. This constant vigilance can lead to a heightened state of anxiety and insecurity, as women feel they must constantly protect themselves from being hurt again. The fear of being betrayed, whether by a partner or a friend, can result in emotional withdrawal, creating barriers between the woman and the people around her. Over time, this withdrawal can create a sense of loneliness, as the woman feels increasingly disconnected from the world around her. Even in situations where a woman does not experience overt betrayal by others, the trauma of infidelity can prevent her from feeling safe in her own emotional space. The unfaithful partner's actions leave a deep emotional scar, one that can cause the woman to question her own judgment and decisions. Trusting her own instincts becomes difficult, as she wonders if she missed something, or if she was too naive in believing in the fidelity of the person closest to her. This internalized mistrust can affect her ability to make future decisions, both in her relationships and in other areas of her life. Healing from the emotional damage of infidelity requires time, effort, and support. It involves not only working through the pain of the betrayal, but also learning to trust again. For some women, this means working through the trauma with a therapist or counselor who can help them process the complex emotions involved and rebuild their sense of trust in others. For others, it means finding ways to slowly open up to new relationships or to reestablish trust in their existing partnerships. It's a journey that requires both patience and self-compassion, but it is one that many women are capable of navigating, though the scars of infidelity may always remain. Ultimately, the long-term effects of infidelity can challenge a woman's ability to trust, and the healing process is often long and arduous. Yet, with time and effort, it's possible for women to regain their emotional balance and rebuild their capacity to trust again, though it may always be colored by the experience of betrayal. This journey of recovery is a testament to the resilience and strength many women show in overcoming the emotional damage left by infidelity.